without saying any names or calling anybody out, I've come to accept that there are people in my life who are only here because they need something. It may not have started that way, but it sure as hell ended that way. You see, it's weird because, say, 6 months ago, we were the ones who were in need. We were looking to friends who could help us out, and I remember being very deliberate when talking to people and saying, "Hey, if you can help me out, cool. But if it's going to set you back in any way, even if it just means you can't go to the movies the way you want to, or something that you want you can't have, don't help me." But also, I was protecting my investments by talking to people. Because we're talking friends, we're talking family. These are the people who are in our lives. So I was very particular to always have the time it would take to talk to people. Now, I am dealing with an individual whom knows we could use a hand. And then when I say I need a hand, don't look, our financial problems are fine. Like I'm paying all the bills, I'm paying the rent, everything's being taken care of. This is more a favor from a friend. Asia needs a letter of recommendation. Well, no, it's not a letter of recommendation. It's a performance evaluation, is what they're calling it. And we had a friend who was in a professional circle who said, "Hey, I'll be able to help you out." But that friend is also dealing with her own issues. So whenever she would call or text, me and Asia always made the time to stop and console her or stop and have a conversation. "Hey, well, what's going on? What can we do to help?" But when it comes time for Asia to get what she needs, suddenly this person's just nowhere to be found. And like I said, I'm not going to call anybody out. I'm not even mad at this person. But if you can't help, say you can't help. If you're not going to get around to it, then just say, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to get around to it." No harm, no foul. Like, nobody's going to be hurt. Nobody's going to be upset. Just what upsets me is when somebody says they're going to do something and then they don't. There's, look, there are a lot of people in my life whom I don't have a lot of love for. There are people who I just say, "Well, you know what, I'm not mad, I'm just not fucking with you no more." The only thing in life I hate, I absolutely hate, the one type of person I despise is a hypocrite. If you say it, do it. If you say it and then for extenuating circumstances you can't, I get that too. You made a promise. You said, "Hey, this is what I could do." Circumstances changed. Sometimes plans have to change. That's fine. But I absolutely hate a hypocrite. People who say, "This is what I'm going to do," and then don't. People who say, "This is what I believe," and then act a different way. Say what you mean what you say. Like, I don't have a lot of things that I fall back on. There are not a whole lot of things that I believe in, but I know you don't start what you can't finish. You always keep your word. You always open the door for a woman. These are just some of the things that I hold true to myself. I do things in my own way, on my own terms, in my own time. I don't have a lot of quote unquote close friends because I would rather you love me for who I am, and that means I only have two friends, than to be surrounded by people I couldn't give a shit about and who don't give a shit about me for the sake of saying I have a lot of friends. So when I open up my life and my heart and I allow somebody into my little circle, because look, we keep our circle close for a reason. This is me, there's Asia, there's Kari. There, beyond that, there's nothing else. And don't get me wrong, I love Asia's mother. I do. I love that woman. I love her sister. I love her little brother. That's family to me. I would take a bullet for all of them. But at the end of the day, if somebody put a gun to my wife's head and said, "I'm going to shoot your wife or her mother," hey, fucking murder her mom. Whatever. Because at the end of the day, I take care of me and mine. I'm saying all that to say this. We have allowed an individual into our circle somewhat. Here's a person who I want to say almost forced themselves in They were, hey, I'm gonna endear myself to you guys so you know that I want to be down and I love you guys. And we're like, oh, okay, that's cool. But now, when we need something from you, and it's not even the biggest deal, like this whole performance evaluation thing, it would be nice if Asia could get it. And while it is a requirement, we can work around it if we absolutely have to. But don't say you're gonna help us out, and then when we look for you, you're just nowhere to be found. That's ridiculous. Even if you say, hey, I'm a little busy, I'll get to it later. Or, hey guys, sorry about the mix up, I promise I'll take care of it later. Or if you just hit us up and said, you know what, hey, for whatever reason, I'm not going to be able to. That's fine. But don't say you're going to do it and then you don't. And then not only did you not do it, you're purposely avoiding us so that you don't have to deal with it. So I am performing a social experiment with this person. Wow, this is really loud. I'm performing a social experiment with this person. I am not going to call nor text them until I hear from them. And then when I do hear from them, the type of conversation we have will dictate whether I cut them off or not. Because look, I've got a best friend. Her name's Monica. I love Monica. We have been friends for longer than we haven't been. I met her when I was 13 years old, and I'm 41 years old. To this day, she is still one of my closest friends. And I guarantee you, if my wife had issue with her, wouldn't be nothing to cut a bitch off. We'd be done just like that, because that's the loyalty that I have for my family. So with the person in question, I'm not going to say a word. And when they contact me, eventually they will. If the conversation leans towards something they want or something they need or a problem that they're having and they need to talk, that's it. Hiya! Up in this motherfucker. So I'm done. I'm fucking done. But if you call and just, hey, haven't heard from you guys. You okay? Everything good? I miss you guys. You should come over. You should hang out. I should come over there. Then, we'll consider it. And I'm not saying, like, oh, our friendship is such a thing where you would have to hold on to it like, oh, cherish our friendship. And it's not a trophy to be won. It's not a prize to be had. It's not a title to be given. It's just when we say we're going to include you, that means we down for you, period. We don't talk a whole lot about Zach. Maybe one day we will. But I opened our home to him. We opened our hearts to this fool. And no matter what idiotic thing he said, we was like, you know what? You're family. We got your back. Until he betrayed us. And we were fine. We moved on. It was like, hiya! I like that. You see we just cut him off and we were done. I have no problem doing that for anybody when it comes to my family. So over the next couple of weeks, let's see how this works. In the meantime, short-term problems, I'm going to help my wife with this whole performance evaluation thing. We'll get past it. We'll work it out. Because not necessarily this job's important to her, but I know she wants to get back into the workforce. I know she wants to do more. I know she wants to contribute to the home in more than just the capacity that she is now. So I'll do what I can to help her out in that regard. But I mean it. I don't have no problem cutting nobody up. I'm gonna do one more time. It's like I'm gonna just hey yeah. That's just so awesome. I fucking love that. I do. But I should actually get back to work. I've been sitting back here like I didn't have a job, so let me get back to work.